Hi, everyone, and welcome to Hy-Vee Chiefs Insider. 3 straight wins for the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. And now they're primed for the national stage with a Monday Night Football first-place showdown with the San Diego Chargers. But the scene for the drama was set last week with a shutout victory at Oakland at the Coliseum against the Raiders. The first road shutout for Kansas City in 38 years. 6 picks, 2 pick-sixes, and the first division loss for Oakland in 2 years. We'll revisit the Raider game and look ahead to what the Chargers have in store as we connect every week right here with head coach Todd Haley. Our insider Josh Looney connects with cornerback Brandon Flowers, who shared in the pillaging of the Raider quarterbacks last Sunday with 2 interceptions, including 1 to the house. And we'll take a look back at a special game played right here last week at Arrowhead as the Chiefs continued their mission to support Joplin, their recovery, and the surrounding communities. So grab a seat. You'll really love this edition of Hy-Vee Chiefs Insider as we start by going back to Oakland as the Chiefs hand a bagel to the Raiders.
Near side, pass intercepted. Kendrick Lewis up the sideline. 35-30, headed for the promised land. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Very few small towns in America have had a book written about it, but there's a New York Times bestseller written about where I grew up in Smith Center. It's called Our Boys, and it does give everyone a flavor of what it's like to be there. It's not close to anything. It's 90 miles from a McDonald's or a Walmart or a Home Depot, and yet I wouldn't have traded it for anything in the world. There's a lot of pride there, but what I learned growing up there was the value of hard work, because you work. And the second thing you learn is how to treat people.
Mitch was kind of a unique kid. All kids, especially now in Smith Center, they want to be an athlete. I can remember times of Mitch when he was this would probably been a junior high or younger. He always played football at recess. Some of the times when Mitch wasn't playing, he'd be over on the sidelines with a make-believe mic calling the game as a kid, Nobody knew what that would lead to. Maybe Mitch did.
He used to sit upstairs in his room, and he'd sit at the desk, and he'd have all of his papers, just like he does now, in that he outlines everything, and all the little tidbits that he could think of, he'd put on his broadcast posters that he had. And he'd take anything that he could for a mic, and he just loved to sit at that desk. I can remember him sitting up there for hours and hours and just pretending that he was announcing a game.
I grew up loving sports, kind of a gym rat. Went to a small school and played everything, but also realized I could speak. I was into debate and forensics, and so I thought, how can you put those two together? And I started actually in high school and doing some sportscasting at the remedial level. Then I thought I was going to go to law school. I got accepted to 3 law schools. I was a law clerk for 2 years. I thought, I don't want to do that.
We are obviously Kansas State fans, and Mitch would listen to Dev Nelson, and at that time, our radio reception was such that he had to go up to the top of the hill to pick up the reception to hear Dev Nelson do that. And at that time, he said, I want to be the voice of the Wildcats sometime. Very few kids really get to live their dream, and that actually happened to him.
So I started now at the very beginning stages, doing high school ball, selling advertising, doing junior college ball. Then had an opportunity to go to Kansas State, where I was the voice of my alma mater for 13 years. And then I got the opportunity, after being turned down by the Vikings, the Falcons, the Bears. I was a finalist. I had 300 applicants for these jobs, and I got down to the final 2, final 3. So after kind of being pounding around in this business, I got the best job of all, because I'm the voice of the team that I grew up with. Jackie Battle is now in the game. Was impressive last week in short yardage. In the win against Jacksonville, they're going to give it off to Battle on a fullback trap. in battle, it's close to a first down.
My wife will say, "That's Mitch, sounds like Mitch." That is Mitch, you know. We both know Mitch's voice. When we hear Mitch, we know we're getting an accurate picture of what's going on.
But I want to make that broadcast come alive to the farmer who's working in the field or the person that's working in the emergency room of the hospital where my mom worked. And then I think about the entire kingdom. I love the kingdom. And the kingdom is basically defined from Des Moines to Tulsa to western Kansas to Columbia, Jeff City area. And I think about all those people. I think about the fabric of those people. What do they want to know about this team? Because they truly, truly love the team. That's why you will always hear me talk about opponent players who either went to college or grew up in the kingdom, because that's part of making the game come alive to them.
Sam Cook, who was born in York, Nebraska. Chiefs blocked the punt. It's in the end zone. Kansas City jumps on it. It's still loose, though. The Ravens trying to dig it out. Now the Chiefs trying to get it. As they unpile, we're waiting for the call. Touchdown! Kansas City! Sean McGraw, the special teams captain and the pride of K-State and Riley County High School, has a block punt for a touchdown.
And he keeps it not so much metropolitan. He has a little local color in it, which really means a lot to the people out here. He'll mention Smith Center once in a while. He'll mention the high schools, what's going on in the state of Kansas, what I think really puts him ahead of other people. In fact, he has an interest in what's going on, just on what's going out on the field.
He makes the game interesting. He makes the Chiefs interesting. The Chiefs then become our team.
It just gets us excited out here to know that's kind of a hometown boy, and the things he's done for the community and the role model he is for students and athletes here.
Some of the people around here say, well, Mitch is awful lucky to get where he's at today. But I don't think luck had much to do with it. Mitch was a dedicated young man. When he was given a job, he done it. It didn't matter if it meant going out to farm and work. He was humble enough, he was willing to do it. And so I feel like he's been rewarded for hard work, not by luck.
Gusting wind right to left. Gafford snaps. Placement is down. Suckup's kick is up. And it is good. He got it. Ryan Suckup on the final play of overtime kicks the field goal from 35 yards out. And the Chiefs continue their surprising season, going to 5-2 with the most dramatic of finishes.
The people ask me all the time, what's the call that you remember the most? And I have to be honest, I haven't given it yet. 17 years with this organization, it's been ups and downs. Mostly it's been about the fans, and yet there's been some disappointments. It's why I'm so excited about the current regime and how we're approaching this. I see clips of the 1969 team in the parade, and Lenny up there on the stage with Hank Stram and Lamar Hunt and Bill Grigsby. I pray and hope that in my lifetime I get to experience that day, mainly to see the faces of the fans and the faces of the Hunt family. I want to be there on that day.
Snap to Cyphers, nearly blocked. Cyphers barely gets it away. It's taken by McCluster at the 5. McCluster trying to get to the left side and does. 2 blocks. He's at the 30. McCluster could go. They need to block the punter. 45, 40. They nail the punter. McCluster 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Kansas City. Dexter McCluster. 94-yard punt return for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I just love to hear him say that, and especially when he kind of slurs it out. And touchdown, Kansas City.
One of the great things about the Kansas City Chiefs organization is how much they care about the entire Chiefs kingdom. And from time to time, you see us feature when people that work for the organization, players, even the Chiefs cheerleaders, go out and about to help those who are in need. Well, this week we've got a special treat, because as you know, the Chiefs kingdom goes around the world. And this week, the Kansas City Chiefs cheerleaders go all the way to Iraq to share the Chiefs spirit and some goodwill with those who need it the most. Every week a chance to talk to the head coach of the Chiefs. What do you do for an encore if you're Romeo Crennel after a week like that last week? But now it's on to this week, and I need to just ask you about the different nature of this Raider game, because last week the best passing team in football, and now you face a very good running team. What about the difference in opponents?
You know, the game plan, first of all, will be different. because Green Bay, they threw the ball quite a bit. The Raiders, they're a big physical team, and they like to manhandle you every time they get a chance.
Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of According to Mitch, brought to you by our great friends at Sprint. Kansas City heads to Gotham City this week to take on the New York Jets. And it's December football, meaning the Chiefs gotta have it, but so do the New York Jets. Both teams have their backs against the wall and trying to stay in the playoff chase, and in their division race, both teams are desperate for a victory.